Hey, my name is Horsh, and I'm here to talk to you about Horsh-IT. It's really Horsh-IT, and then but my marketing advisor decided that he got to change the name and just call it Horsh-IT. But how did it all start? Horsh-IT. I was my sister and I, Mawsha. Mawsha, come over here. Come over here. Let's see if I. Will you stand up, Mawsha? Oh, well, she doesn't like the camera much. But, yeah, by golly, when we was kids and stuff, we like to play outside a lot, and that's part of how our game of Horsh-IT came about. But I'm not here to tell you that story today. I'm just here to talk to you just a little bit about how you play Horsh-IT. You know, I want to go through some of the things and go through each little bit and piece, and you know, because with Horsh-IT, you got a horse, and you got an Hosh, and you tush it. You tush the Hosh at the horse. And that's kind of like, you know, the fun of the game. It's just a fun game. You know, you got to be in the game to understand the fun of it, by golly. But there's people after me now, and now that Horsh-IT became a famous game, and they want me to do all kinds of things. And so, anyway, let's get to the game. Let's get to the basics of the game Horsh, and then we'll have some fun. How do you stop this thing? Oh, what's this button over here? All right, what I'm showing you right here is how you set up your Horsh-IT bit. So you take your 3 horses, and you take an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper, and it's amazing. I don't know how this worked out, but it makes them like an actual equidistant separation point apart. But you set up your horses just like this, and how in the hell I get over to that? That's my old camping outfit. Good morning again. I'm here to talk to you more about my Horsh-IT game. And I thought the best way to get started would be just tell you what they is. This here is a horse. Dead burnt. Anyway, this is a horse. And the horse, I'll make all my horses right here in the United States of America in Oregon. In Oregon, I make all my horses. In fact, the whole game is made in America by hand. By me. I don't know. That's pretty good. Anyway, so this is the horse, and in the game, you got to have at least 3 horses. That's 1, 2, and 3. 3 horses on each end, and that's the horse. And I got it. And this here's an Hosh, and the Hosh is what you tush at the horse. You know, and every player has 2 Hoshes, and the other player. So you, what the heck? These don't match here. Mawsha, did you already send that order off to the Obamas? Oh, okay, but these are Hoshes, and you tush the Hosh at the horse. That's good. I'm going to tell you more about that in just about a minute, if I can find that stop. Well, I was trying to get a picture of Mawsha and have you see Mawsha, but she don't want to be in no picture. She says, why don't you just show them a picture of my favorite place to get coffee? And so there's my barista, whatever, and this is her favorite place for a cup of coffee. And then maybe someday I can talk Mawsha into it. Okay, I'm back here, this horse, and I'm here to talk to you about my game Horsh-IT. And Mawsha, she's my sister. Mawsha and I came up with the game Horsh-IT, and now we's out selling it and making it for people so they can have lots of fun. But I just want to talk to you a little bit about my studio here. They set me up really nice. And I was sitting here getting ready to do this next section. I thought, I got to show the people this. This has got to be the coolest thing. You know, hold on a second. They've got me a computer, and I can sit and make my own movie. And I was sitting here working on that one day, and I said, how the heck can I make a movie and I can't even have a cup of coffee? Well, the guy says, oh, well, I'll tell you, we can come up with something. So I got to show you this here. This has got to be the greatest here. Yeah, okay, so you take a look here, and they got me this little computer stand with my coffee right there, and it just, hell, oh, shit. There you, hold on a second, I got to stop here. I think I showed you a picture of my old camping outfit truck. Well, Mawsha and I, we was doing some designing of the Horsh-IT game as we was driving down the road, and we just got to where we was having so much fun, and I kind of missed a turn. I don't know how do we get this in the advertising thing, but this is my picture book, I guess. Okay, well, it's come time to talk to you about how Mawsha and I invented Horsh-IT. We was just youngins living on the farm with Pa, and you ever live in Oregon? Oregon, it just rains all the time. So one summer, Pa, he puts up outside this great big horseshoe pit. And it's got like a stake at one end, and it's got the horseshoes that you throw at the stake. And then you can have fun outside, you know. Well, in Oregon, my Pa put that up. We played one time. And then, it started to rain. And we'd go out to the deck and we'd look out and say, Pa, hey, maybe it's not going to rain today. And he says, it's already raining. And I'd just say, Horsh-IT. And I looked at Mawsha. I said, Mawsha, we ever going to get to play horseshoes again? And she says, oh, shit, Hosh, can you just forget that? And I got to thinking, well, maybe. I went out to the one-holer. And I'm going to show you a picture of that one-holer. That was the best one-holer, I think, in Oregon. Now, I got some stories to tell you about that one-holer. But I was out there, I was doing my thinking as I was thumbing through the Sears and Roebuck catalog. And I thought, holy shit. Excuse me. I could make something we could play inside. So we just made some stakes and we drove them in the floor. And we started throwing the horseshoes inside. And man, my Pa, he just got all riled up. And my mom, she didn't like it because we was hitting her china cabinet. And so they just threw them stakes back outside. And Mawsha, she got to thinking. She says, you know what? Tell you what. Let's make a horse. It's not like a horseshoe. But instead of throwing the horseshoe part, we're going to throw the stakes. And but we got to make the stakes soft enough that they not going to hurt anything. And so I said, well, Hosh, let's call that part the Hosh. Because you said, oh, shit, we can't ever do that. And then we can. We can put your mind to it. And Mawsha, I tell you, we're going to have to come up with a good game. So we just started plugging away and playing. And I want to show you sometime here our factory table where we make our horses and our Hoshes. And hold on just a minute here. I don't know, maybe I can pause this thing for just about a minute. Chap, it don't pause. Oh, well, they bought me this computer. Oh, I got to put it down because I ain't got my pants on yet. And there we go, by golly. I'm going to rock right over here. I'm going to give you an insight into our highfalutin manufacturing plant and how where we make all of our horses and our Hoshes. And now if you can see that there, we just our work table. We just is busy. Because Mawsha, she says, I want to be rich and famous someday. And I said, well, I don't really care if we's famous, but being rich part, that wouldn't be too bad. Okay, I'm going to stop this now since I showed you all the good stuff. I just want to make sure that you know that in the game of Horsh-IT, you got 6 horses, and you got 4, how in the hell? This, Mawsha, would you come over here and help me with, well, okay, I think I got this figured out. You got 6 horses and you got 4 horses in a full set. And you set them up with 3 horses at each end, just like I showed you before. And each player, you can play as a team, but you stand there and you tush the Hoshes at the horse, and then you get points. You can make a Horsh-IT or an Hosh-IT, and if you don't hit any, that's an Hosh-IT. I'm going to show you what this is in just about a second. Okay, this here is one way of making a Horsh-IT. A Horsh-IT is like your most amount of points you can get. And if the Horsh-IT is like this, where you got the Hosh touching the horse in 2 different places with just a little bit showing in between, that's called a Horsh-IT. And you can look at the book to find out how many points that's worth. Dad Brent, that was something else there, by God. But the fun thing about Horsh-IT is that there's so much you can do with it. It's not only a fun game. I got to show you this. Mawsha just came in and she says, "Look," she said, "Hosh, if you would just use your horse, like a cup holder thing, and you wouldn't be spilling your coffee all the time." I got to show you what she just showed me on my horse. Here we go. Okay, computers are hard to kind of, you see that? That's my horse down there, Mawsha. She just said, "Look, it's all unstable. Bring your coffee over and set it on your Hosh. And by golly, that's what you got." And so, not only is Horsh-IT a fun game, it's a bunch of coffee holders. And when you like me, it don't get much better than that. That's right. That's for sure. This one, and this is called an Hosh-IT. An Hosh-IT is when it's close to the horse, it's not touching, it's not overlapping. And then, well, it can be touching, but at least not like in the last part I showed you. But the closest Hosh-IT wins and cancels out the next closest Hosh-IT. Oh yeah, and I was telling you about the fact you can do another kind of a Horsh-IT. This kind of Horsh-IT is where one end of the Hosh lands on one horse and the other end lands on another horse. And that counts as the same amount of points as a regular Horsh-IT. And I think you're going to like that. And the one fun thing about this game, hell, I printed out the rules so I could remember them, but sometimes you can just kind of make them up if somebody don't catch you. One fun thing about Horsh-IT, and I sold a game down to my local bar owner down there, best bar in town. They have lots of fun games, but Horsh is definitely the most fun one they got so far. But you get really good at it, you can start betting your friends, and you can start winning some of their stuff. Like Paul, he won himself a fixer-up motorhome, and that was a pretty good deal. But I'm just waiting to hear from you. Order your game of Horsh-IT. It's fun, lots of fun. And you just go to my website. That would be www.horsh-it.com. Did I ever tell you what the IT was for? I was working for the vet doing internal medicine, and we thought, well, we were doing that on the horses. So I'm a Horsh-IT, so we thought, let's just call it Horsh-IT. Anyway, www.horsh-it.com. Oh, come on. What you waiting for? Get on my website and order the damn thing. Horsh-IT. It's fun.